So I recently read Eliza and Her Monsters, and I know I'm late, but it's better late than never, right? Anyways, let's just jump into the synopsis. So offline, Eliza basically has no friends and doesn't really leave her room much. To her family, it just looks like she's glued to a computer or working on her pet project. But online, Eliza, under the guise Lady Constellation, is actually the anonymous creator of a famous webcomic called Monstrous Sea. Then her webcomic's biggest fanfiction writer transfers to her school, drawing her toward a new life offline. When her secret is exposed, the life and relationships she's built begin to shatter, and she must figure out a way to navigate her new monstrous world. So I gave this book 5 stars. Characters. To me, they were really fleshed out. The book itself is told over time, so the development of the characters almost feels organic, and they're very well written and distinctive that I feel like a lot of readers can relate to characters, and especially in today's time and age, I feel a lot of people can relate to Eliza, however you pronounce it. Overall, I feel like the relationship with the main character and all the other characters, it's very gradual and very organic. It's not hasty like in most YA books. I feel a lot of it could be insta-lovey, but this one was done tastefully. Likes. I really like the world building and the dynamic of Eliza's situation. Like I mentioned earlier, in today's society, we all have a persona online, and we feel as though we can be more ourselves online, especially with building relationships with others and making friends online. I know myself, for instance, I found a lot of my closest friends online, and growing up, my mom didn't really understand it, but I feel like everyone born before phones pretty much feels the same way. The story also tackled a lot of important topics such as depression, suicide, anxiety, just mental health in general, and pressures to do what other people want, which I feel is very relevant, and we all go through it in life, especially with mental health. I feel like there's a stigma behind mental health. It was addressed in this book in a way that didn't overshadow the entire story, but was handled in a healthy manner, so I really liked that. And like I mentioned earlier, I liked how the story just flowed organically, and I also enjoyed the webcomic inserts. They're really good. Dislikes. So my biggest dislike was with Eliza's parents. They kept constantly saying that they were trying to understand her. Everything they did was just in hopes to understand her, but they never really made an effort to actually try. Like, it was just all talk and no action, and they kept using the excuse that they're not tech savvy, and even now I don't think that's legitimate, especially with something as simple as Googling. Like, even my abuelita, she Googles stuff. I just don't think that them not being tech savvy was a legitimate reason to not try to understand their daughter, especially with exposing Eliza's secret. It put her in a lot of freaking danger, considering her webcomic is very famous and the internet is a scary place. There are some scary people out there, so they really put her daughter in danger by exposing that secret. I also noticed some minor flaws in the characters, but granted, what character doesn't? And now my last category, the feels. I cried a few times, I'm not gonna lie. I cried a few times. It just hit home, and I understand to be a critical reader, you need to disassociate yourself from the character and their experiences. Like, if you didn't have those experiences, it doesn't negate from the quality of the book. But in this instance, I am going to relate, because this book was hella relatable. Me, myself, I dabble in the arts, here and there. I like to write, I like to do art. I went to art schools, and there was a brief period in my time where I thought in order for me to make good art, I needed to be sad. And I know that sounds dumb, but that's legitimately how I felt. Like, I needed to be sad to make good art, and I felt like that would translate in my drawings. Like, if I was happy, I couldn't do art because those who were looking at my art would see that I was happy, if that makes sense. So I would take a short period of time and wait till I was sad again to do art. And I remember there was this one person who I inspired them to do art, and they kept constantly telling me, when am I going to do art? When am I going to do art? Pressuring me continuously that I need to find a freaking muse and do art. And I remember sitting there thinking, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's not as simple as me picking up a pencil and freaking drawing. But this person went on to go do great things in the art community, and I was slightly jealous. I am not going to lie, because this kid basically told me that I was the one who inspired him to do art, and he would be nowhere without me. And here he is in magazines, going to one of the best art schools, and I was jealous. Granted, you know, he was putting in the work and I wasn't. And I always had this weird conception that my art equated my worth. And I feel the biggest takeaway that I got from this book was to separate myself from any form of art and realize that I have more to offer than just what I create. Especially doing things that might not make other people happy. We're in this society where like you have to go to school, you have to be a lawyer or a doctor or something that makes money, and we forget to do what makes us happy. And this book covered that very, very well. Even if it makes you dirt poor, just do what makes you happy. I'm sorry, you hear my cat meowing. Overall, I really, really enjoyed this book. I can't believe I waited so long to read it. And I'm glad I picked it up, and I'm glad I actually got the physical copy, because this book was the bomb.com. If you're really looking forward to a mental health / webcomic-y things, this is the book for you. I suggest you pick it up, read it, and tell me what you think about it, because it was honestly really good. So this book review was different from my other book reviews. I know I've been doing a lot of bullet journaling videos, but you know, I just reach a point where I want to create content that makes me happy. And yes, it takes a little bit more effort because it takes a little longer, but I am so over just doing the normal booktube stuff, because yes, it was fun, but I just want to make things and create things that I like. And so what if other people don't like it? So here's a book review in a bullet journal style, and I hope you like it. And all the supplies I use is going to be listed down below, like in all my other bullet journal videos. And I would apologize if my future videos have a lot to do with bullet journaling, but honestly, I am not sorry. So I hope you guys like bullet journaling content, because there's going to be a lot coming your way, and a lot new content that I am just pretty stoked about, because it's actually content that I don't feel like it's work, if that makes sense. But anyways, I hope you're having all a good day and you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out. This voiceover is probably going to end before this video does, so just listen to the soothing music and finish the rest of the video. Bye!